Okay, haven't done this for a little while. I think I've got a cat following me. I think I gotta wait for this car. Don't hit my cat. Don't hit my cat. Yeah, it's Perry. Hey, Perry, are you gonna come? Can't see him. Come on, Perry. Okay. Come on, Perry. He's coming. So I guess this is gonna be a short walk because, of course, Perry gets tired from only having 3 legs. Can't blame him. Yeah, he's come. Oh, here comes another car. Who's gonna want to hit me? It's going like 900 miles an hour. Go ahead, car. Hit me. You can see me. Hit me. Cool. Have fun hitting me. You hit my cat? No. These people are nuts. I'm clearly coming out too early to do this video. No idea if he's following me now. He doesn't like cars. Okay. There. See, I should have started making it down here. Oh, color is very weird. Like, very weird. Okay, so here's what's been going on. I haven't been on here for a little while. Mostly because there hadn't been any changes. And then also it was pouring rain. See if the cat's coming. Pear? Are you coming? See, this is a good thing about fall. You can hear the cats going through the leaves. Anyway, so here's what's going on. My son is at the shelter still. Yeah, here he comes. Here. Come on. Oh, good boy. Yeah. I gotta work on the color saturation of this. And it is very stressful. I mean, it's basically his lifestyle now. He was offered housing pretty quickly, and he turned it down. And of course, part of me that's going, oh my God, you're in a shelter. Sounds like we got another one. We got another one. Hey, it's Percy. Can't see him. You almost never see him. Hey, Perce. He's my little shadow cat that likes to camouflage. Those two, if you could see them, can't see anything, are my oldest cats. Anyway, or my longest, well, Perry is my oldest cat, but there goes Percy running up the street like a nut. The ones I've had the longest. Actually, no, they're not the oldest. The girls are the oldest. They're 14. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. Probably because this video is... I'm afraid I'm going to be judged for letting my kid live this lifestyle that he has created for himself. He was offered housing. He looked at it. He saw what it involved. And he turned it down. And this big part of me that was like freaking out going, you need to live somewhere. You can't live in a shelter. And he's like, well, I'm in a shelter. I have basically what I need. He's got he doesn't have everything. He doesn't have all the comforts of home. He's got a bed. It's clean. He's got access to laundry and showers and stuff like that. They do 3 meals a day, so he doesn't actually have to worry about eating. It's bare bones, but it's still food. And he's got complete freedom, sort of. to do what he wants. And they do let him hang out at there's a, like, room that he can hang out in. And that's basically what he does. He just sits and hangs out. It's exactly what he was doing in my house. It's just like laying in the bed and doing nothing. And apparently what he was doing in college, laying around, not doing anything. Percy's laying down there. He's waiting for Perry. Perry's off doing whatever they're doing. I think they're playing with each other. Nice cats. So the great horrors, what I would there's no way. I could not live like that. But, I'm avoidant. And he is autistic, and he is pretty much in almost every way the opposite of avoidant. He's not gregarious and all that stuff, but he just doesn't care. Whereas an avoidant person cares about being judged and everything else. The first thing I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. 2 of the kids overdosed while they were in the shelter. They had taken it and then come back, and it had the bad reaction, and it got shut down, and the ambulance had to come and everything else and take him to get treated. And he is just cool as a cucumber. Now, first of all, he did spend a couple of months in 2 different times. Well, they were a couple of months altogether, but in a psych hospital for children. And I would say at least 50% of the kids in the hospital, probably more, were there for addiction issues. And so he became extremely sympathetic and cool as a cucumber to some of the more awful and seedy parts of addiction. I mean, it might be his thing. He should almost be an addictions counselor, because he's just absolutely cool as a cucumber about it. There's Perry. There's Percy. They're both coming. Hi, guys. So, didn't faze him at all. And then he started to get a little bit casual about being at the shelter. And he fell asleep with his phone plugged in and thought everything's good because the phone is like right next to his face. And of course it got stolen. $900 phone got stolen. And he calls and he's raging at me that I need to buy him a new phone. Run right out and buy it. I mean, I'm going on this trip in 2 weeks. I'm going to Italy. And so, I mean, I've got to have money to buy food. I don't need to buy food there. I can buy a phone right now. This is his literal thinking. I need to buy him a brand new phone. So he's screaming like a nut at me, and got kicked out of the shelter for the day. Not for the night, but for the day. He had to leave. And he thinks there's a problem with the shelter. What's wrong with them? Overhearing a personal phone call he was having. I'm like, kid, you can't yell and be abusive to anybody, and they overhear it, and this is real life. But he thinks it's my fault because I was not going along with what he was telling me and making him angry. And that's what caused it. I'm like, kid, you gotta... Because, he's not like that with other people. Only with me. It's kind of decent timing, maybe. I don't know. Bad timing, horrible timing. Well, for him to be kicked out of the shelter, it was good timing because he had a doctor's appointment this morning. So I had to go get him and take him to the doctor's appointment. And then we're in the mall, walking around, and he is just... Well, he kept, first of all, he kept grabbing from my phone, because if he doesn't have a phone, then I'm not supposed to have a phone. And he kept like grabbing me. And okay, so here's where, this is what I'm talking about when I say that sometimes you override avoidance. Perry, you're still with me. Can you see him? You can see him a bit. Come on, Perry. Because I just shouted, hey, every time he did it. Every time he touched me, every time he reached for my phone. And people were staring. And that actually stopped him cold. But they were staring. I mean, first of all, he was making it very loud, calling me everything in the book. Oh, I love it. He's telling me, when am I going to kill myself? All this other stuff. I'm like, dude. Yeah, a real sweetheart. I mean, he was trying to trigger the avoidance. The thing is, I've had a break from him. And so, sort of my, it's like a double whammy. One, my sort of tolerance has been able to build up a little bit. I don't mean that I'm like tolerant of him. Up now, Perry's laying down, but he's coming with me. You see him? Probably not. But he's like sticking by me, man. Pretty good for Mr. I got 3 legs. Anyway, it's sort of like I build up a reserve of tolerance to stuff that would really trigger the avoidance. Because I haven't had to use it, really. So, if you're getting triggered every single day, if you've got somebody with you that is harassing you and haranguing you and diminishing you every single day, you stay at this really low level. And you can't get a break from it. And it's funny. I mean, I keep like working on this theory that at some point you will break through the avoidance and trying to figure out where that is. And the time that was the most obvious to me was when I first moved to Philadelphia and I was completely alone. I didn't know anybody. And I was just basically sitting in my apartment for 2 months doing nothing at all. I didn't have a job. I was going to school, but school didn't start. I got there early because, a long story, basically I had a car that wasn't going to pass inspection, and you don't need a car in Philadelphia, so I was like, screw it, I'm just going to move early, why not? Rather than fix a car that I'm just going to have for 2 months. So it was after being alone, completely alone, and wasn't just loneliness though, I'm seeing this now, it was also having a break from my mother. Oh yeah, he's down for the count. He's laying down, so he's going to stay there and wait. And the belittlement and the harassment and everything else, that's what it is. I had a couple months away from people being abusive. And then I could handle better my avoidance. And I overcame it, and I went out and I got, I got myself into a relationship. And it was really my first adult relationship. I kept saying, oh, well, my problem is, this is crude, but this is, a colloquialism. You don't shit where you drink. Because I never had a relationship near my mother. I had them, I went away to college, and I had relationships there, and then I came back home. I think there's a possum in the street up there. And I wasn't even living at home, but I was dealing with her. It's kind of like what I was dealing with the past few years with my mother before she died. And then it went away again, and it's the same thing. It took a few months and of a break from her. Pear, I'll come back and get ya. Oh, is that him? There he is. Do you see him? Running. Let's go give him a pet. You want a pet? Why don't you rest? Yeah, he's orange, but he's not as orange as this. Want me to carry you? No? I'll come and get you on the way back, Pear. Anyway, so, yeah, that seems to be a key. If you can get away from the influence of whoever it is that's being abusive to you, then you're able to override that avoidance a lot easier and quicker. And I mean, it was an abnormal situation that I was in today with my son. He was basically trying to cause a scene and get me to back down and give him exactly what he wanted. And there's no way that I was going to go out and spend $900 on another phone on this kid. There's just no way. So yeah. So he was having this little conniption fit, and being abusive and obnoxious, and nearly to the point where I didn't give him a ride back, but I did. I gave him a ride back and dropped him off, and everything was good. And then I went out to lunch because, hello, I deserved it after that. And then the place I went to just happened to be right next to a phone store, which, phone stores are everywhere, so that's not like a plan, and it wasn't like, anything that wasn't fate or anything like that. But it's actually on my list because I am traveling overseas. I want to make sure, what my coverage is. And the guy was like, hey, your phone is like a year and a half old, and we have a really good upgrade here. And it was like $50. So, did not buy my son a new phone, but I did buy the upgrade for myself. And I took my old phone and had it wiped and had my son's number put on it. And then I had to track him down. Which again was miraculous, I'd say. Getting smoky down here. Well, we still have a low, climate low. So when that happens, of course, the smoke gets pushed down. So anybody that's burning wood in their house, it's like I'm walking through fire or something. It's not. It's somebody's just heating their house, and it's staying close to the ground. Anyway, so, because of course my son doesn't have a phone, he's kicked out of the shelter. But it's not that big of an area where he was, and I went with my first gut chance sort of thought of where he might be, and there he was. And then I gave him my old phone and saved his ass. It's just like when he broke his computer and I gave him mine. Although I gave him a laptop and he dropped that on the ground too and broke that in, I don't know, record time. I think it was a day. Because my computer did not have as much, protection as his did. So I haven't bothered with getting that fixed. I haven't needed to use it yet, but that's annoying. But this is a new phone, which is supposedly going to be great for pictures. It's got more memory, etc. Can do more stuff when I'm on my trip. Definitely need to adjust some of the color saturation on this phone, though. As you can see, here's my little man. He's orange, but he's not that orange. Oh my goodness, he's limping so bad. He's gonna need me to carry him home. He's all tired out. Do you see him at all? Orange cat in the orange leaves. So I saved my kid's butt again, and tomorrow I'll have nothing to do with him, and he's got a phone, he can find a place, or he can't, or it's totally up to him. I really am very hands-off now. He only calls me when he has a problem and he needs something. Yeah, these colors look stupid. Pear. He doesn't want to look up. He's just tired and annoyed. What am I doing? How am I doing? My recovery, it does still bother me a lot. I actually went back to the doctor and they're like, oh, yeah, this is an issue. And they prescribed me a nerve blocker, which is fine. I can drive on it, everything else. Makes me a little sleepy. That's fine. Not when I'm driving, like at night, I'm sleeping better. I'm supposed to still take pain meds because for some reason it's still hurting. Probably because I keep doing stuff. I don't know. But I'm doing everything. Actually, I went out to a show last night. That's similar to me to going to a movie. I go to movies by myself too. If I won't be recognized, if there's nobody there, there's like no chance in hell that anybody. So like I'll go to midnight movies when it's completely empty on purpose. Or I will go basically right around opening night, and usually in a town away. Actually, I think I told y'all. I went to see the new Stephen King movie, the It movie. I actually drove to Bangor to watch it. So, that's a pretty long drive from here. So, that's like half the distance to, or more than half the distance to Canada. It's pretty far, so there's no way I'm going to be recognized by anybody. I'll never see them again, so I can go to it. Same with this thing I went to last night. There's no way I'm ever going to run into anybody that was at this thing. And, it was a good time. Went by myself. I know that's horrifying to some people, but that's the way I am. I'm better in crowds that I'm completely anonymous and I'll never interact with them again. That's my kind of avoidance. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, I can be with my family and that's it, and I cannot deal with strangers at all. And it's a complete opposite. Yep. That's why it's not listed in the DMs. The DMC. What am I talking about? Oh God, what is it called? I can't even remember. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, it's not part of the diagnostic criteria. That's what I'm trying to say. And sounding like an idiot. Because there are different variations, and that's my variation. So, either completely alone is best for me, or in a big crowd where I can be anonymous, and nobody's going to pay attention to me, and nobody's going to notice me, and I'll never see anybody again. Acorns falling. So that's what's going on, and this is my new phone, and I don't really like how it's filming. I'll have to work on this. Oh, he's ready for a walk. I guess I'll take him home now. Bye.